Members of the family who own Purdue Pharma and the company itself agreed to pay $7.4 billion in a new settlement over their role in the opioid crisis. The original lawsuit claims the company downplayed the risks of its painkiller OxyContin to doctors. What does a lawsuit of this magnitude mean for the victims and the states who will get the money? 21 News at 5 legal expert, attorney Brian Kopp, is joining us now. All right, we are always glued in on this topic, Brian. What is at the core of this lawsuit, and what did the suit allege the Sacklers and Purdue Pharma did to help cause the opioid epidemic?
In simplistic terms, the lawsuits allege profits over people, that it was all about a money grab, failure to disclose the risk to the community, and actually even lied as to what effect this drug could have on people long term. So it's come full circle now. Remember, the previous settlement was rejected. The bankruptcy court now will have to hear the terms of this, and it'll go through a very similar acceptance process. Most people believe that the new Justice Department will not object to the settlement. So it's going to have a great effect on the states that agreed to this settlement and were principals in it.
Yeah, this is $1 billion more than the previous agreement that was struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court. Brian, the prior deal was thrown out because it included a clause that would have shielded them from liability in civil lawsuits. This new settlement approved by the highest court has that clause removed. So do you expect families of the loved ones who lost their family members, their children, to overdoses to flood the courts with civil suits?
Well, it's not quite that clear from what's being reported. And, we always say devil's in the detail in the agreements of settlement. From what I've seen that's been reported, the states that have agreed to this, those families within those states will be encompassed within that set of lawsuits. So, you go back to the Ohio verdict for the localities or local governments that was overturned. I think you're going to see a lot of ancillary litigation, even amongst the states, how it could be divided up. But I think for the most part, at least the state attorney generals that were involved in this settlement, that there'll be very little litigation in those states.
Okay. Now, Pennsylvania getting some of the money. Ohio was not included in this one.
Right.
There was a separate one Ohio's part of.
Yes.
This is, though, the largest settlement for a group accused of causing the opioid epidemic. We've seen communities like Trumbull County hit hard by it. What kind of message does this send when the court is saying, okay, we approve this settlement, to other companies in big pharma with the approval of this?
This is what's hard about lawsuits is we want to bring attention to them. As you know, I do a lot of plaintiffs' work. Entities cause harm to people, and they make such a financial issue out of it. But in reality, most companies that are sued barely miss a beat in their profitability and their business structure. Here, you're seeing a change in the board. You're seeing an extra $1 billion in payment. But at a $5 or $6 billion payment by the Sackler family, there's some reports that they made $35 to $40 billion through this drug. So it's always a small percentage of profit. It rarely, bankrupts a company like they claim. I mean, they went into bankruptcy court to stop litigation, not because they didn't have the funds to deal with these kind of things.
Yeah, everyone watching here that has family members, loved ones, or know a friend that lost someone to this, it's definitely something that hits home. I really appreciate you joining us here. Hopefully some of this money goes to the resources that are needed to solve it.
That's what we're all hoping. You have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you, Brian, as always.